training to be a wrestler is not easy. You gotta
Oh, it's
go through
not.
so much.
There's a lot of people that want to be wrestlers, but once they start taking bumps, and by the second or third time that they're actually in the ring, their body is either saying, "Yeah, let's go with this. I can do this," or their body shuts down because in my theory, from the time you're a small child, from the time you're 2 years old, you teach yourself not to fall because it hurts. And so with wrestling, we teach you the exact opposite. We're going to teach you how to fall and fall really hard. Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but it jars your insides. I mean, you can feel your liver, you can feel your heart. It takes a lot to build that up and to get, like your when they say core strength, you really need core strength to take, like really big bumps and really impressive bumps, because you don't want to fall like a douchebag. You don't want to fall in pieces. You want to fall, and you want to fall really hard. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt. And after the first day, you like when my daughter started taking bumps, she couldn't even lift her head up off the pillow the first day.
Hmm.
She hurt so bad that she literally could not move, not even to like lift her head up. But the following week, she was right back in the gym and right back in the ring taking bumps again. So I knew, she had that in her, because a lot of people, they don't have it in them. Your body will actually stop. You'll go to take a bump and your body will not do it. So, yes, training is really, really hard.
Yeah, for you, I know you said you started out at kind of as a bodyguard, as a valet, but making that transition to competitor, I mean, what was the training process like for you specifically?
Well, whenever I did ballet and whenever I worked with Gino, I didn't have to like wrestle. I just walked down to the ring. I did a couple of matches with Stella where Jake Roberts came to the sportatorium, taught me the DDT. So I'm actually can say that, a master taught me the DDT. I had a couple of matches with her, but they weren't like wrestling matches where it was, where chain wrestling or holds or anything. It was just kind of set up, to beat each other up. And then when I went with uh, Crockett and Gino, or with Tully, I really didn't have to wrestle at all until we did the angle with Cornette. And we had 14 matches with a bash. And it was basically like an arm drag or a hip toss with Bobby. And then I beat the crap out of Cornette. The summer of 87, I went to Nelson Royals camp in Mooresville, North Carolina. Spent the whole summer up there training with Rockin' Robin, my sister in law at the time,
Hmm.
and Ken Shamrock was also training.
Hmm.
And we trained up there for the whole summer. And that was rough because we trained in the morning and the evening because it was in a big barn. And that thing would get so hot that we couldn't work out in the afternoon. It'd have to be like early morning or evening. And just I trained for several months with Nelson. Um, Rockin' Robin got the shot with WWE, so I didn't ever have to wrestle, which I'm thankful to this point because I made my mark in wrestling. I'm like one of the best ballets ever. I think I'm one of the heat that I had in 85 and 86 with Crockett. I had more heat those 2 years than any female has ever had in this business. I don't think any female has any ever come close to what the heat that I had, especially with Tully.
Hmm.
Um, I was very fortunate that I didn't really have to wrestle. I could have if I wanted to, but now I'm able to walk pretty well and I'm not stove up from all the bumps that I would have had to take.
It's just fascinating to see, the role of a manager in ballet, and how it's kind of changed over the years, evolved.
Right.
You don't really see a lot of managers these days, I feel like. Do you feel like it's sort of a lost art?
It's the business changes and it's like whenever you look, there were very few wrestlers or managers in like the 60s and 70s. There were a few. JC Dykes comes to mind. He was through Texas a lot. Um, I think that it is a lost art, but then um, I go to a lot of indie shows and there's like 5 matches and 5 managers. I think that like with the top promotions, they're not using it so much, but then you've got like Arn and Tully were in AEW. They've got the girl Julia Hart, she's a manager up there. There are managers, and you got Pollo Del Mar with the NWA, and James Mitchell's also with NWA. So there are still quite a few managers, not so many valets, but definitely the managers are there.
Yeah.
But see, I could call myself actually a valet. I didn't really manage. I didn't really like tell him what to do during a match. I just enhanced the match. And I also, like with Tully, I could say that I was actually a valet inside and outside the ring because I made like a lot of the plane reservations. I know I made all the hotel reservations, all the car reservations. I would, when we landed in a town, I would like race to the car rentals, go rent the car, get the car, and have it driving around by the time the guys got their bags, and I'd meet them out front. I drive them to the shows. I did probably 90% of the driving for Tolly. Um, so I really was kind of a valet at the time. I made myself like indispensable and made it really easy for him to work and be the best wrestler he could have been.